So, hi everyone. I'm Mate Colina, and today I'm chairing the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting of December the 12th, 2018. And I'm here with you with Michael, Nikita, Tracy, Colin, Anna, the fourth eye, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, Joey, and Michael. So we have a usual agenda for today, and it's a bunch of agenda items. There is, however, we're not going in order because we have Tracy just for like 15, 20 minutes. So I would like her to start in giving some updates on the travel fund and then on the Node Store launch.
Cool, excited to do so. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quickly. And just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about the updates that I've been working on behalf of the foundation to kind of improve the travel fund and the different things that are going on. So number one, what we're doing is I will be submitting a PR very shortly with relation to updating the travel fund to give more information for folks dealing with different visa issues. So I'm going to be updating this information shortly with relation to that. When I do submit that PR, any comments are obviously welcome. What we did recently do is, there was talk a few months back about just making sure there was a little bit more visibility on the travel fund and what has been actually requested and what was actually reimbursed. So now this is the current source of truth that both the foundation and the community uses. We've added a lot of different things. So for example, there's amount requested, date expense report sent. So you can see if your expense report was sent and or who hasn't sent their expense reports yet. Amount of the actual expense report. So again, you can sort of verify 2040, 2040, date sent to finance, and then approved through bill.com, and then what was the final approved amount. So I did talk to the ComCom about this as well. And one thing I said was, this is great because we have one source of truth we're working through right now. However, we have a very hard time now getting the total since this is not a spreadsheet. So anybody who feels like solving that problem for us would be, very, very happy. But it's good progress anyways. So I don't know if anybody had any questions about that or this.
We have, I was just wondering, do we have an idea of like our total versus what we had available for this year since we're getting close to the end of the year?
Well, yeah, I'll send that to you separately because I'll just have to copy.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, we were definitely nearing the total amount.
Okay.
But it's not like the total amount was $60,000, and what was approved was definitely very close to that.
Okay, I was just curious how close, if anybody had totaled it up. But.
Yeah, we have totaled it up, and I have it in a different spreadsheet. So I'll make a note to send that to you. But
okay.
I know that Miles and Tracy were probably talking to the board about, well, I don't think requesting additional funds is necessary anyways for this year, but obviously these have been in the board meeting conversations as well for next year.
Right, okay.
Okay, next up. So then we have the Node Store, which I'm so excited about. So it was a little bit difficult figuring out the process with Joint for this and getting the swag and then the budget approved for the different swag. But now we have the updated Node Store, which has cool new swag like this awesome pink JS mug and these pride stickers that Adam Miller from ComCom helped us design. Node pins, if you're excited about that. Soon I will be adding like proper hex size stickers in there. So we'll make sure to make that clear when you're ordering. Also this really cool dress and these cool new Node things that Adam also helped us design that as well. So anyways, obviously all this money just goes back So anything that's purchased through the store, all the money that's made on that goes back to supporting the community, meaning, the more money people spend in this, the more money we can allocate out to send swag to different meetups and everything like that. So, yeah. That is basically it. Although, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just Node store. This is off for some reason. Apparel. I don't know if that was cached or something, but this is the more accurate link. I need to figure out why on earth that's not redirecting properly. But anyway, so we have these pink shirts and then we have these other cool shirts too. Okay. Another thing is we will be, I'm talking to the foundation as well about potentially moving to Redbubble so we can have more diversity in our swag. Right now we're limited because we have to pre-purchase all the stuff. So it was rather expensive for us to pre-purchase a bunch of stuff. So hopefully more exciting upcoming changes for the Notser. But that is all. Does anybody have any questions about that?
What's Redbubble?
Redbubble is another platform that allows you to just host swag, but they print on demand. Whereas right now, what we do, we pre-buy everything and have it shipped out. So we're kind of evaluating platforms for us in the future.
Okay, yeah, the print on demand sounds good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, those are all my updates. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
For the update. And to all of you that are listening, please buy from the store. The money is going to help the community. So, yay! So that's it. So let's go back to our original schedule, to our original agenda, and order. And again, thank you, Tracy. And I know you're probably logging out soon, so bye. The first item on the list, it's on Node.js node issue 24811 on the CLI add --max--http--header-size flag. And I've added this here mainly for visibility. So we are adding this flag to cater some edge cases with the previous headers, with the fixed headers setting. So that's it. And I'm just flagging this and as something that we might want to land sooner rather than later and backport to all PRs. There are a couple of other things that we might want to backport as well. Note that this is probably going to it also Node 6, which is on maintenance. So just so that you know. I don't know if there are any questions. Whatever, I put it there mainly for visibility and to get some approval on landing this sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's a good idea to do that sooner than later and get it backported. It sounds like from the comments, it's affected a few people that we've heard from already. So
yeah, agreed. Okay, perfect. I was just flagging this. I don't know. There is no specific action on this one. It was mainly for visibility. Now I think it gathered enough like approvals or something for landing. So I'm going to remove the TSC tags. So that's good. Then there is the next one up, which is fixing child process module to check values passed strictly to the option objects. Now, this is a controversial PR in the sense that as TSC members, we do not have agreements in the sense that Rod is conflicted about it and Gabriel is not, don't want to land this at all. So landing this would probably go ahead and go for a vote. But before going for a vote, I would just for all of you to look at the issue. Basically, this make passing some values, passing the options to child process module more strict in terms of what could be overridden by if an attack happens on the system and they are able to execute some JavaScript and compromise the top level prototype. So this is more or less the issue. I don't know if anybody has any questions or want to talk about it or has some opinion. At this point in time, only Rod and Joey has made some question last week, and Gabriel said it doesn't like the change. Note that originally this was reported as a security vulnerability, and we asked at Lirantal to go back and file a normal PR because we didn't consider this a security issue. So I just want to ask you folks what you think about this one, and if there are any questions at all. You are mute, Michael.
I was going to say, I definitely think it warrants more discussion. I'm even wondering if it might make sense to bring Loran and, to give us maybe a walkthrough or discussion of it. It seems like I think the bigger issue is not the change itself, but that, we could get a lot of changes like this and they'd be semper major. And
yes.
There's a question as to whether or not it actually adds to the security or not.
Yes.
So it's sort of the larger picture of like, I guess there's two things. Like one, do we believe it actually is useful to land something like this, even if it doesn't make it, even if there's other ways to do the same thing? And sort of the question in the context of our security model, is it that we should just be saying, sorry, our security model doesn't protect against those things? Not going to do it, or even if that is the case, is there some usefulness in doing this one in particular or some others? And I don't think, like, I took a quick read of the issue. I'm not sure there's like any rush either necessarily, right?
No, there is no rush.
So I don't know what other people think. Like, is it clear enough from having read through the issue? Or would it make sense to invite Loran to a meeting and have him sort of lead a discussion on it? What would people find useful in terms of sort of forming their opinions?
So I am okay in sending it back to GitHub and inviting at Lirantal in the next meeting, and like help him promote his case and then call a vote.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do we need an immediate vote? I would almost say get him to come back, promote the case, and then we can decide if like it's an immediate vote time or more GitHub time or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just take some notes. So back to GitHub.
I'm writing the message right now.
You're writing a message in the minutes or somewhere else?
In the issue.
In the issue. Okay, perfect. I'm taking some notes in there. So back to GitHub and invite Loran to next TSC meeting. Does anybody else on the call have an opinion one way or the other at this point?
I just promoted Gabriel.
Okay.
Nikolai will Nikita will comment on GitHub.
Okay.
Perfect. And yeah. Good.
Okay.
I think we're good on this one. Let's move to the next one. Next one up is on Node.js/Node.js.org. Reinstate link to NIM in debug documentation. So it's kind of a long one. I don't. Somebody can present this issue? Miles put it on the agenda.
I spent a very short amount of time reading through it. It sounds like we were promoting a particular tool. There were some concerns that it was, I guess, capturing your email address. Some of the discussion was around whether it was GDPR compliant or not. The comment, there was a fairly lengthy response from the maintainer, I think asserting that they believe they're in compliance. I think from the title, I'm guessing that at one point we removed it from the recommendation, and they're saying, well, wait a sec, we're probably okay, so to reinstating it.
Okay, now I understand the issue. Node, this thing, I think I am fine in recommending this, but you can. Is there some opinion in the TSC overall? Does anybody object?
I haven't had enough time to, I just read to that level of understanding, so I don't have any opinion right yet.
So should we send it back to GitHub asking, can you make should we send it back to GitHub, or we want to keep it on the agenda for next week and we can dig deep and understand what it is?
That's good for me.
Does anybody else have any opinion? Doesn't seem so. Okay, so let's move on to next item on the agenda. And it seems we don't have consensus whatsoever. Then there is the report on the board meeting, and the board meeting is happening on this Thursday, so nothing to do at the moment. There was a report from this on the last meeting as well, and more or less Miles is trying to secure the funds and stuff to run the Collaborator Summit in Berlin next year. So that is probably the biggest one. And then there was some update on the new merger and governance things. So that is progressing. And I think that's all for that specific one. Then we have our big update for the strategic initiatives. So on strategic initiatives, we got a huge list of things as usual. So let's go through it in order. And first one up is modules. And Miles is writing something down for modules. There is quite a bit of discussion happening on two breakout proposals. The first one is from Jeffrey, Node import file specifier resolution proposal. It's a proposal to utilize metadata to determine the module type of a package, allow us to support both ESM and CJS modules. And then there is an alternative proposal to the current Node.js resolution algorithm with metadata in package.json would be used to identify exports. And this later one is compatible with the import map proposal from Dominic De Nicola. Possibly, if this is seems something very meaningful, so we might want to chime in on those things. And if you are, of course, interested in modules, you should join that discussion. Then next one up, it's NAPI. Michael, are there any updates about NAPI?
Actually, I'll let Gabriel go this week since I've been away for the last 10 days. Gabriel, is there anything update on that front?
Not really. There are a few pull requests, like basically last week during the meeting we basically concluded that since V8 or version 8 of Node doesn't have support for a big num, then if we are to roll a version 4 of an API that is stable, then it basically can only be nappy thread safe function, and even that only if I manage to backport it to version 8 before it goes into maintenance mode. So I'm working on the backport now, and we'll see what happens if I can finish it by then. And then I have a PR in Node add-on API for the what do you call that? Suppress destruct for async worker, which is one of the results of the discussion with Eric from the week before, when he joined the meeting and explained some of the issues with async worker and Node add-on API. And I believe that's most of it.
Yeah, we had 2 weeks ago, I guess we had a great discussion on async worker, work through a number of the different issues that people have reported and seen. And Eric, who was one of the people who reported those, gave us a good walkthrough, and I think we planned out the way forward on that. So
Good stuff. So next one up, it's OpenSSL evolution. I don't think we have ROD, and we don't have any updates. We don't have any. Anna, do you have any updates on Anna? Is there? Is Anna there? No, Anna doesn't seem there. So I don't think we have any updates on the on workers. Joey, do you have any updates on error messages?
Actually, I have a small update on workers.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so I've been working with Anna to better integrate module support, like native add-on support for workers. Mm-hmm. And so she approved a PR of mine where we basically keep a list of the loaded add-ons attached to the environment, and then when the environment gets destroyed, the modules get unloaded, and that is pretty much good to go, except there's a crash on AIX when you have an @exit hook in the native module. So I've requested access to the AIX machine to fix that. So that's part of workers.
Oh, fantastic! This is actually good news. So we will get support for native modules in workers sometime soon, right? Is this
well? We have support for native workers in native or in. I'm sorry, we have support for native modules in workers already, but the native modules have to be structured in a certain way, so they cannot have like global static data, and they have to use the well-known symbol for the access point, not the node module macro, which just exports like a static structure. That doesn't work because that uses library constructors, and those only get run once per process. So those modules which support multiple loads will support workers, and we have documentation to explain what is necessary for that to work.
Okay.
So some modules may need to be modified in order for this to happen. So you can't transparently support workers with existing modules because you don't have any guarantees as to how they maintain their state.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's where that is. Yep, no worries.
Thanks for the update. Then.
So yeah, I'm gonna ping George to make sure he gets you access to one of the X machines. If that doesn't happen, if you could reach out to me on Twitter, because I'm still on holiday actually, so I won't necessarily be checking things. But if you can, don't get it from tomorrow, let me know and I'll add you in.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So good. Then we don't have James for core promise APIs. Miles give his update to Bootstrap, to the governance. If you're not following the Bootstrap repo, you probably want to, because we've done a very good session on scoping the new CPC C3 council early this week. We did 2 very productive hours. It's probably been the most productive hours that has ever happened in that meeting. So it was a huge amount of progress this week. You should probably check it out. I'm actually adding a link in the minutes. You should check it out. It's on a project, and here we go. It's basically the scopes and responsibility on that one, and I am adding it to the meeting notes. Yes, it's already there. Yeah, perfect. It's already there.
Where did you add it in?
Oh, it's already there. It's already in the notes.
Okay. Is there anything else planned for this week?
No, it's nothing planned for this week for Bootstrap. It's going to be on next Monday as well, according to the rotating timetable.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering. I'll be back for Monday, so I was just curious if there was something between now and then.
No, there is not, but you should probably check out that project board, because we'll probably be discussing that again, and it's it's fairly important.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll catch up before the meeting. What time is the meeting this Monday? Is it early or late?
This is something that I am I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'm already keeping tracks. If it's check the calendar, I would say that would be my best.
Yeah, no, I'll find it. If I was just asking if you had off the top of your head, that's all.
Do we have Jeremiah? No, we don't have Jeremiah. Basically, the new Streams API is blocked on me. I need to do some work, and I don't have time, so we'll see. Michael, do we have Michael Vasso? Do we have any update on V8 currency? Nothing special to report on with respect to V8 currency, so we can go ahead. Do we have? We don't have Ali, so I don't know if there is any update related to async hooks. I don't know. Let me check the issue if there is anything news. I knew there was Matthias working on stuff, but we are not. I don't see any progress over there. Then Joey, do we have any update with respect to Open Web Standards? I know there have been some activities over there.
I think the updates from Miles is enough.
Okay, let's just read that. So where it is, I am kind of lost in all the tabs. Miles said there is a lot of discussion Epic introducing a namespace for Node, and these are implications for other runtimes. So this is kind of blocked. We have discussed this for a long time already. So we should probably chime in again into this discussion at some point in the future. The reason is they're actually going back and discussing exactly how to do this. Like, it's not clear that we should actually do this. There is still some discussion on going with a prefix like Node.js colon versus add Node.js. And I don't know exactly what is the status of all of this. So we should probably check that out anyway. Apart from this, there is a dynamic modules proposal happening, and it will be spec compliant, named import from CommonJS module. T39 and V8 wants to ensure we have consensus within Node before changes can land upstream. So if you have concern, produce them before next Wednesday, so which is today. So do you got any concern about this? Have you checked this out? please check that out. It's still setting somewhere there. So no, and then let's move up to the next one. And yeah, strategic initiatives. I think we are good to go. So let's check if there are any questions on the YouTube live stream. Does somebody have that open? Tierney, I don't really, there is a couple of messages. One message from Tierney, send love. Thank you, Tierney. Then there is a question like, that's about sums it up. I don't really understand with this message. I can submit a PR for the change back. Not sure my message was going through. I don't know. Can you please reach out to this, and can you please reach out, because I don't know who this person is, and it's 667, and I don't know who you are, and I don't really understand your question. Let me see on here, see if there are any questions for us. If you don't know, please open an issue or something, 667. There is no question in the ERC channel, so I think we are good to go. Any questions, anything from anybody here?
I'm wondering whether we can remove the error message. Oh, well, maybe move the error message static initiative to the completed the section of the the document, because there have not been like a lot of momentums in this now, and it's sort of completed. We only have a few errors from the SIPO side remaining, so I think we're probably safe to the remaining issues, for example, regarding error names. I think we don't actually need a strategic initiative for that.
I guess the question is, are we done?
In terms of adding code to the errors, I think we are near to complete them, to completion. But I don't think we actually need to go over this every week anymore.
Right. Are we still gonna? I guess the only question I'd have is, do we think it's stalled, or do we think it's just gonna naturally get finished, and therefore we don't need to talk about it?
I think it will just get finished at one point. It's still initiative. It's just not that strategic anymore, I think.
Yeah, it's almost because it's. I wonder if we need like an in-between state for initiatives, because it would be too bad for it to stall out and not get completed, as opposed to just finishing off the last few things. But I agree. It doesn't sound like talking about it every week is useful either.
Yeah, there are several initiatives that don't have many updates every week. It's not like they are finished. It's simply that there are not that much momentum behind them anymore.
Right. Is it that almost seems to me as like you could think of a case, I don't know if that applies in this case, you could think of a case where that would actually be a problem. And by removing them from the list, we would have less focus on them, right? Like if it's something we think we need to reignite the interest in, do we need to do more sort of promotion of that being a good thing to work on, or is it that because that's one of the reasons we sort of started is having the list of strategic initiatives. It's like, hey, if you want to get involved and do something, here's some of the key things to work on.
Maybe we can just add another section, like another state for this.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to write something and open an issue later.
Okay. Yeah, no, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea as well. There is some discussion happening on our issue on the NIM browser extension, and I think Nikita is kind of objecting to having this back in. So anyway, it's better if there is a PR, and then we can head for a vote or something about this. I'm kind of in favor. That seems like a safe one to use, but it's probably better if it goes for a vote. That being said, I think that's all, and there are no more questions anywhere. So I would actually say thank you everybody for joining in, and see you again next week.
Okay. Talk to everybody next week.
Talk to everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.